Hi, I'm Heather from Heather Handmade, and today I am going to teach you how to hem jeans. I used to work at a tailor shop, and hemming jeans was a very common alteration that we used to do all the time. I learned some tips and tricks to make hemming jeans a little bit more professional and a little bit easier. So this video is how to actually cut the fabric and then fold it up to hem it. If you want to reuse the original hem when you hem it shorter, I have a different video that you can see here. This is how to hem jeans with the original hem, and it is a different technique than I'm doing in this video. That one will make it look like, since you reuse the original hem, the hem looks exactly the same after you're done hemming. This one you actually cut off the bottom, and then the hem is like a brand new fabric, so it doesn't look faded or kind of worn out on the ends. So it depends on the look you are going for. So this works really well for any pair of jeans, but it's especially a pair of jeans if it's a nicer pair and you want it to have a nice hem on the bottom. I love so much to help people learn how to alter their clothes so that their clothing fits their body perfectly and that they love their clothing. So let's get started. For this project, you're going to need your jeans that are too long. I will teach you how to mark them to get the right length. You are going to need a marking tool. I like using waxed tailor's chalk. You're going to need fabric scissors. You're going to need pins and any sort of ruler. It's easier to sew jeans if you have a thicker needle, so you can use a universal that is a 100/16, or you can use a jean sewing machine needle that's 100/16. You will also need some top stitching thread in like a jeans color. So this is a really classic color and this matches really well. If you do not have like a thick top stitching thread, if you can see, it's much thicker than this is a regular thread here. So it is a lot thicker. If you do not have a top stitching thread, you can use a matching jean color top stitching thread. Just do 2 threads through 1 needle, and then you're going to need a regular thread on a bobbin for the underside of the thread. You can't use top stitching thread in the bobbin. So you can see these pants, they're probably meant to be like a boot cut or straight leg for someone who is shorter than I. So it would go down to the floor. For me, it just looks too short. So I am going to cut these into kind of like a cropped straight leg fit. So I take my chalk. This is a waxed tailor's chalk that I love to use. And it actually is easier if you have someone else do it for you, because you should be standing straight. Because when you look, when I like bend down, it's like this is moving around, so it's not staying in the right place. So it's a little tricky to do it on your own. You kind of have to keep the pants from moving. Like I kind of hold right at the knee so that it doesn't move down here as I bend down. But I'm gonna do this just kind of like a cropped length, just like right here. So I want my length to end up about right here. So you want to mark it. Can you see my mark right here? So if your pants are like longer than the floor, then you would mark so that it's just touching the floor. You should put shoes on if you want to hem it with shoes. These I'm going to be wearing in the summer with sandals, so that's why I can do it a little bit higher. You can go as high as you want. You can do shorts, but I'm going to do this length right here. After you have marked your jeans, you are going to open them up so you can see. So you're going to take your ruler and you are going to measure how far you're going up. Mine is 2.5 inches that I'm going to be going up. It is a little bit less, but I'm just going to round up. If you want it to be very accurate, then you can go down to 1/8. So what you're going to do, we're opening up these pants, and I'm going to go around each leg and I'm going to mark 2.5 inches from this bottom hem. So I do that by laying the ruler down in the right place and doing a straight line, and then we are going to do the other side. Make sure it's nice and flat and that there's no like folds that's going to pull it in the wrong place. And do the same to the other pant leg. Now this is where we want the pant hem to end, like this is how it's going to be folded up. So we need to have hem allowance, which is the fabric that is below this that will be folded up inside the hem. And traditionally, a denim jean hem is a 5/8 inch double fold hem. So that means you need to mark 1¼ inch below this mark. You should check the hem of your jeans. This is a classic hem that is 5/8 inch double fold. Some of them are a 2-inch hem. You might have a much longer hem. So you probably want to duplicate the hem that you already have. So now I'm going to go below the mark that I just did and do the 1¼ inch below. Now we're actually going to take our scissors and we're going to cut at this bottom line, a straight line all the way across. So now we're going to take the ends of these pant legs and we are going to fold it up so that it is in the right, so it's like at the hem. So make sure that your seam allowance on the inside, one of them is going to be top stitched, and so that tells you what direction the hem or the seam allowance should be facing, but the other one is not, and you just kind of have to check inside and see which way it's facing and then make sure that that seam allowance is facing the right way. And then you're going to fold up the end until it kind of meets this hemline. And then, so you fold it up once, and then you fold it up again, and then your hemline is going to be right here on the bottom edge so that you have the right, that's the place you want your hem to be. So we're going to go around the hem and do that in 4 places. Since I am doing this on essentially a straight leg, kind of like a bootleg cut, the hem that I'm folding up is a similar circumference to this side of the pant leg circumference. And so I am not having a problem with folding it up. But if you have a very deep hem, or if you have a flare hem, or if you have a really skinny leg, there is a chance that the circumference of this cut edge is going to be a different circumference than this place where you're going to sew. So you might have to sew the pant leg a little tighter so that it would fit. So that would be a skinny, like a skinny hem. If the pant leg is going up like this too much, you might have to bring it in a little bit so it's more straight where the hem is going to be. If you're doing a flare that's like this, then you're going to have to bring the hem in to like sew the hem in slightly so that it will fit a smaller circumference since it's being brought up. Now the next step is to sew this hem, but denim is very thick, especially at the 2 side seams where there's lots of layers of fabric. And so I learned this trick when I worked at a tailor shop that the best way to get that fabric easier to sew through is you actually take a hammer. This is just like a craft hammer that I have in my sewing room because it's smaller and it's easier to store. But you can use a regular big hammer. It actually doesn't matter. You do want to use a nice, like a sturdy surface below you, and you're actually going to hammer each seam. I do like 5 or 6 hits to really like smash the fabric down, and it actually makes it a lot easier to sew over. You do not have to hammer if you don't want to, but it does make those seams a lot easier to sew through. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to the sewing machine and we are going to sew around the hem. You have to sew looking from the outside because your top stitching thread will be on your sewing machine needle on the top. So you have to do it from the top. I sew 1/2 inch from this edge, looking from the top. So now you're going to take your scissors and trim your thread. So if you like that kind of that faded look that you would just like at this seam, faded look at the bottom, you will have to wear the pants for a while for it to wear out, or you can kind of do a little bit of sandpaper around the bottom. Now we're going to press the hem of the pants. You want to do it around something like this so that you're not pressing creases into it, and you just are going to, you know, just press it each side. And since we use tailor's chalk, it actually makes that fade when you iron it, so you don't see that anymore. Once you have pressed it, your hem is finished. And that is how to hem a pair of jeans. Please check out these playlists of altering ideas to make your clothes fit you, and refashioning and upcycling ideas. I can't wait to see all of the jeans that you hem. Please share them with me on social media. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you have a wonderful day.